Beneath Data, and I'm gonna record my first YouTube video for kids.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good day. So, do you know why you're here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Do we want to talk a little bit about, a career in computer science, computer programming, to know a little bit about the computer field in general for people like you, people who are either in high school senior year or pursuing going through high school. So for those kind of kids.
So, would you mind telling us where computers are in our lives, like our daily routine?
A better answer is to ask ourselves where are in our lives computers are not, right? When I was a kid, the first computer I saw was a big one, and right now your phone is a computer. People call them phones, but they're computers. People call them tablets, like your iPad, it's a computer. So a generic definition of a computer is something that has a microchip, and microchip is what is a microchip? It's a brain. Like all humans or all animals have brains. Computers have microchips, that is their brain. And apart from the microchip, if something has a memory and something has a storage, when all three things are in a machine, it can be called a computer. Your phone is a computer, your laptop is a computer, your desktop is a computer, and our refrigerator, our car, the plane we fly in, everything is a computer. Today, like most of the gadgets you come across in your life are computers, because most of those things are sharing. They have a microchip, they have a brain, and they have memory to remember things, and they have secondary storage. So pretty much everything.
So, people address computers as a living being and have given a name for the profession as a computer scientist. But there are many types of sciences. Would you mind telling us the difference between computer science and the other sciences?
Science is a subject that needs and demands reasoning. So anything you want to prove in a scientific setup, the other people will demand that you provide irrefutable evidence, right? So that is science. Without evidence, nothing can be called scientific. So what is computer science? In the domain of computer, anything, whether it is theory or practice of making certain computers or an algorithm, everything that can be backed or proved by scientific evidence is the domain of computer science.
There are two types of computer careers. Well, there might be many, but these are the main two that people know, which is computer programming and computer engineering. Would you mind telling us the difference between those two?
I believe whenever you see think of your phone, right? A phone is a physical device. You can touch the phone, right? So anything we can touch in the computer field, it's called hardware. The phone is a hardware, this laptop is a hardware. So that is the hardware part. When the hardware part comes in touch, in connection with something we call software, is nothing but a set of instructions, that the hardware and the software makes a computer, right? So the computer engineering is basically the making of the hardware. How the computer what parts of the computer will go inside. Like it's very similar to engineering a car, engineering a ship, engineering an airplane. So that's very similar. Obviously, the making a computer, engineering a computer is much more miniature, much more critical. But it's similar. Computer engineering is basically the engineering of the hardware, the engineering of the chips. Actually, the small device that actually power the thinking of the computer. Computer programming is basically writing the software, and it's a vast field. So that is the difference between computer engineering, which deals with the hardware, and computer programming deals with writing the software.
Computer programming and computer engineering, or just computer science in general, is a mainly male-dominated field. Is there any reason why women should join it, knowing that males have already taken it over?
that's whenever I hear that, I feel right now we have social media, and we believe our life is truth driven, and whenever someone like you or someone out in my friend circle tells me that computer science is dominated by, driven by male, I feel a little disappointed, because that's not linked to the truth. Why? Because if you go to Google and search for famous women in computers, you will see the entire computer science domain, computer programming domain, has been started by women. So there was one lady who actually contributed heavily to the first design of the computer, which is there was a gentleman called Charles Babbage, who designed the first, not the actual device, first concept of computer, and that lady has contributed heavily. And then the first high-level language, there was a admiral in the U.S. Navy called I forgot her name, but there was a lady who actually designed the first high-level computer language, which is called COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language, and she was an admiral in the United States Navy. So if you go, I don't want to talk about all the many women who have heavily influenced the domain of computer science, but you can Google how many women have heavily influenced the domain of computer science. Recently though, if you use Google Maps, if you use Gmail, I can tell you a famous woman being still living, and she was the ex-CIO of the company Yahoo, and her name is Marissa Mayer, and she was the 19th employee of the Google company. And she was the product engineer, she was the lead engineer of Google Maps, Google Email, and multiple products. So it's absolutely not true. It's absolutely not true that women are the computer science domain is not for women. It's absolutely not true.
As you have said, computer programming and computer engineering seem like very cool careers. How would one go about getting such a career, and what qualifications would they need?
You can, in your high school, most good school districts nowadays offer classes, courses in computer science, like teaching them about the computer, actually writing courses in computer languages, programming languages like Java, Python, or C++. So taking those would be a good first step, and then within those courses, you will, as you gain a little bit of expertise, the first professional thing you can do is to take a 4-year course, which is undergraduate, and then if you love it, and you can pursue masters. One thing I want to talk about here: you can obviously make a career in computer science, but increasingly these days, even if you are not, say you are interested in medical science, you are interested in physics, chemistry, or you are interested in the legal profession, computer programming and knowledge of computer is fast becoming what we know as basic skills in human life. Like I can say riding a bike is a basic skill, swimming is a basic skill, right? So if you can learn swimming even if you are a doctor, even if you are a engineer, even if you are a lawyer. Swimming, it's a basic skill. Why? Because our society is fast moving towards artificial intelligence. So another huge career, suppose, let me give an example. Say you are a doctor, right? Increasingly, a lot of complicated surgeries are actually operated by robots. So there will be an increasing requirement for actual doctors to guide the robot programmers to how the human heart works, how the human kidney works, how the human liver works. So that is where your basic knowledge of computer programming is gonna come really wonderfully helpful. I can give you another example. There was a famous bank, large bank, national bank, which like 2 years back found out that they have spent 360,000 man hours for vetting, for reviewing contracts between them and their partners. So what they did, they told the lawyers to help automate, make an artificial intelligence driven program to review those contracts through robots, through artificial intelligence. And last year they saved 360,000 hours of time consuming money and time. So you can see that not only computer science is a lucrative, very interesting career, even if you are not choosing a computer science career, learning computer programming, knowing about computers is going to be hugely beneficial, even if you are choosing to become something else, like a lawyer, like a doctor. Does that answer your question?
So you've told me that a lot of careers in the future will require
Yes.
some sort of computer engineering expertise or just some basic knowledge. Do you think that after so many people have gained this much knowledge, that the field will just become oversaturated and not as respected as it is now?
I can draw a parallel with the field of athletics, right? So at school level, at college level, at state level, at country level, there are millions of athletes, right? How many Olympic champions are there? This is human life. Your best effort, your talent does not matter. If you have talent, it will show someday. Your expertise, your passion for a field does not matter how many other people are also doing the same thing, right? Suppose you want to make a movie. There are millions of people who want to make a movies, but still some movies get Oscar. So it does not matter how many other people are concentrating on the same career, because the career itself is expanding. I can give you another interesting example. A lot of our troops is serving in Afghanistan, and when they get injured, they need surgery, and the United States have hospitals. 2 years back, I saw programming CNN that actual doctors sitting within America is actually telling actual robots who are actually making rounds in that hospital in Afghanistan and doing basic stuff. That type of thing is going to grow, right? So human-computer interaction, the humans who are not programmers but know how computers work, they will lend their knowledge to computers to, conduct basic operation.
Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not for now. So what we would like to do is continue this kind of discussion so that we can provide lot of answers to a lot of questions that kids may have.
What's the difference between a human language and a computer language?
Good question. Let me explain that with an example. So computer programming is basically teaching, right? So assume that I am teaching how to cross a road to a human and a robot. So if I tell that human, look to your left, look at your right, and if you do not see a car, then cross the road, right? And what I am saying, look at your left, look at your right, and if you do not see a car, cross the road. Same set of instructions. Now the problem is, say a human is standing on this side of the road and he or she sees a car, right? But the car is standing, it's not moving, somebody has parked the car. The human will be able to determine that it is safe, even though the instruction do not talk about a moving car or stopping car. It is safe to cross the road. This mistake in a set of instructions cannot be rectified, cannot be understood by a computer or a robot, and the robot will not be able to cross the street. So what is the difference? Computer languages are mediums of communication as human languages are, but computer languages are very, very detailed, because computers are basically do not have any intelligence, they're dumb. So that is why teaching a human is, I would say, 60 70% detailed, and teaching a computer is a superset. So the way you think has to be much more detailed. But basically both are like, you have your teachers, what do? They also write software in your brain. People who are teaching you biology, people who are teaching you mathematics, people who are teaching you English are actually writing software. But they are writing software for human brain. People like us, we write software for a dumb brain, which is a computer brain. That is the difference. And what happens when you start programming a computer, your basic sense of clarity, basic sense of logic becomes so clear that it improves your life, your decision making in other fields of life. So that's the difference. Does that answer your question?
If you want more videos like this, please like and hit the subscribe button. It really helps.
Bye. See you later.